ever dream of turning a side hustle, into like a whole business empire?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're diving into today, how Cathryn Lavery took like a simple journal idea and
Right.
turned it into BestSelf Co, a multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah, it's really impressive, and we've got two great sources for this.
We do.
We've got that really interesting YouTube interview
Yes.
with Lavery herself, very dynamic, and then this really insightful article, both packed with strategies.
Yeah, and what I think is really interesting is how, her whole journey started. It wasn't some big, business plan with like graphs and charts. It was just a personal need.
Mm-hmm.
She just wanted to get organized.
Totally.
And she was like, I'm going to make a journal.
Classic example of that kind of find a problem that you have and then you solve it. Likely other people have it too.
Exactly. It's like that classic scratch your own itch origin story. But then it's like, okay, cool.
Right.
She made a journal, but then she takes it to Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And that's where things get really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because it's not like she just hit her goal.
Right.
She like blew past it.
Oh, yeah.
About like 20 times or something.
It's huge. I think she was aiming for like 20 grand. She made like over 400,000.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and that's the genius of it, right?
Yeah.
Because if you can prove a concept on Kickstarter, especially something like a journal, relatively low overhead to produce,
Yeah.
even a small batch, you can still be profitable.
Yeah.
But also you're tapping into, her target market is people interested in self-improvement, and they're all on Kickstarter.
Totally, totally.
So you're already there,
It's like a pre-built audience, essentially.
Exactly. So it's not just about raising funds.
Yeah.
It's like market validation, pre-selling.
Exactly. And proving that there's a demand
Yeah.
before you go and like spend all this money
Exactly.
on inventory you might not even be able to sell.
Like a warehouse full of journals nobody wants.
Exactly. Like, did you catch like, what was it, 90% gross margin on those journals?
Yeah, it's huge. That's incredible.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about a smart business decision, right?
It gives you a lot of runway to kind of then experiment, test things.
Exactly.
And speaking of experimenting, I think how she used Shopify in those early days is fascinating.
Yes.
Because she was really early on.
And then she moves to like, embracing all this new tech.
Yeah.
Like she even was like dabbling in DeFi and crypto.
She's all over the place, but
the real game changer now, I think, is AI.
yeah, and I think this is where it gets really interesting for our listeners.
Yes.
Because she's not using AI to replace her creativity.
Right.
She's using it to kind of amplify it, to augment her own abilities. Take, for example, what she calls her golden nugget mining.
Okay. What is that?
From customer reviews. So
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Customer reviews, I get it.
Mhm.
But golden nugget mining,
Mhm.
how does that work?
So, like, imagine feeding all of your customer feedback, like everything, into an AI tool that can do, like, sentiment analysis and all that.
Right.
Identify the most positive comments, picking out, like, key phrases, recurring themes.
Oh.
That's marketing gold right there, because it's straight from the mouths of your happy customers.
Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to like, stare at a blank page
Yeah, exactly.
and be like, how do I write ad copy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It takes, like, the writer's block out of it.
Totally. Okay, so beyond marketing, what else is she using AI for?
Pretty much anything that, like, can drain your energy, but doesn't necessarily need her unique creative spark.
Right.
Like scheduling, research, even just like basic content generation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really about freeing her up to focus on the big picture. So
Right.
strategy,
Right.
relationships, product development.
So it's not about like replacing the human.
No.
It's more like, we talked about like this lean, mean business machine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just giving it tools.
Yeah, like optimize the things so you can focus on the things that really,
Right, right. And this is what I think is so interesting. You know how we were saying, like, she sold Best Self and then bought it back?
Yeah. Talk about a power move.
Total power move. And, like, the vision and the guts to buy it back, too.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about her kind of, confidence in her vision
Yeah.
and her ability to kind of, like adapt, right?
Yeah, totally.
But here's what I think is really interesting for, anyone listening is like when she rebuilt Best Self, she went from, I think it was like a 10-person team,
Right.
mostly US based,
Uh-huh.
to basically like a solo operation.
Wait. Solo.
Yeah.
Like, she runs this multi-million-dollar company
I know.
by herself.
Well, I mean, not by herself, by herself.
Okay.
But like she's the mastermind, but she's leveraging technology, she's leveraging outsourcing really strategically.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, remember how we're talking about like the lean, mean business machine.
That's her in action.
Okay, now I need to know, like, how does she do that?
Okay, so what does she use?
She actually talks about her toolkit very specifically in the interview, which I appreciate.
Oh, perfect.
So, for example, for things that are more like one-off tasks that have to be turned around quickly, she uses Fiverr.
Okay.
Which, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with Fiverr, but essentially you can go on there if you need a graphic designer, if you need a video editor, a virtual assistant.
Right.
Whatever it is.
So smart.
Yeah.
That's great for, like, those quick turnaround things.
Yeah, exactly.
But what about, like, more ongoing support?
Right. So that's where she brings in, I think they're called Quick Hire VA.
Okay.
And they specialize in placing kind of really reliable, experienced VAs, virtual assistants who can handle a lot more, like,
day to day.
Yeah, customer service inquiries, social media, even like basic bookkeeping, things like that.
So you really don't need, like, the fancy office.
And the payroll and all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's incredible. It's really about working smarter, not harder, which I feel like that's a theme here with her.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just the tools and the tactics, right? Like, she has this really insightful perspective on what she calls skill stacking, which is constantly kind of adding new skills to your repertoire.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like that book, oh gosh, what is it called? It's something like How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big.
Yes.
Like that idea of being a jack of all trades makes you so much more adaptable.
Exactly. And, like, especially in, as cliche as it sounds, in a world where AI is changing everything,
Right.
being able to adapt is kind of key.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually reflected really beautifully in how BestSelf itself has evolved,
How so?
It's not just about journals and productivity hacks anymore.
Right.
They've really expanded their focus to kind of encompass this, like, more holistic view of personal growth. So relationships, purpose, fulfillment.
Yeah.
Like, they want you to thrive in all areas of your life, not just, like, crush your to-do list.
Because, like, what good is being really productive if you're miserable?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And her, like, call to action at the end, I thought was really powerful. She really emphasizes, like, starting small.
Okay.
Like, make one positive change today and then another one tomorrow. Surround yourself with, like, the right people, the right information, the right influences.
It's so true. It's like that saying, like, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yes, exactly.
And she's taking it a step further, and it's like, it's not just who you're with, but it's what you're consuming.
Yeah.
Like, what books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? What online communities are you a part of?
Totally.
Because it shapes your perspective and ultimately, like, what you're capable of.
Exactly. Which kind of brings us to our final thought-provoking question.
Ooh, okay, lay it on me. What's the question?
So we've talked about how much Lavery loves, structured tools, right?
The journals, planners.
Yeah, those kind of classic productivity hacks. But then we've also seen how she's, like, not afraid to embrace new tech.
Totally.
Like AI.
Yeah.
To really optimize her business. So it's like,
right.
Here's the big question, right?
Mm-hmm.
As AI gets, like, even more powerful, how does that change the balance between those kind of tried and true tools and, like, the cutting edge stuff?
Wow. Yeah, because it makes you wonder, like, are we even going to need physical journals anymore?
Right.
When AI can basically write our thoughts for us.
Exactly. Or, like, your VA will know you so well that they'll just, like, plan your day down to the minute.
Yeah. It's exciting, but also, like,
it's a little daunting.
Daunting a little bit, yeah.
But I think, if there's one thing we can learn from Cathryn Lavery, it's that, like, embracing that change and being kind of a lifelong learner is, like, so crucial.
Totally.
In this day and age, so.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe the most successful entrepreneurs of the future are going to be the ones who've kind of mastered both, right?
Yeah.
Like the art of journaling and then also the science of AI.
That's a powerful combination, for sure.
Powerful combination.
Well, listeners, I think we've reached the end of our kind of deep dive here.
Yeah.
Into BestSelf Co. And the very inspiring journey of Cathryn Lavery.
So inspiring. And I hope
so too.
Walking away feeling energized, full of ideas, and maybe even like ready to go build your own empire, too.
Go out there and scratch your own itch.
Exactly.
Make it happen.
But it all starts with that single step.
Yeah.
And just that,
willingness
to learn, to grow.
To experiment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So until next time, keep learning, keep growing.
Keep diving deep.
And keep diving deep.